Dan Miall from BirdDog.
Thank you very much. Really pleased to be here. This is exciting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Excited that you've got some things to talk about with the audience today.
Absolutely.
And remote production. It's a big topic right now in the industry, obviously.
Absolutely.
For many reasons. It has been for some time.
Yep.
But obviously something that you guys have been looking at, forward thinking in terms of just understanding where technology is going, both from a camera. So maybe we could just start off and talk a little bit about where BirdDog is today and kind of where you're going on the remote production side.
Sure thing. Well, actually, today is our 10th anniversary.
Congratulations.
Been around, so that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is very exciting.
Yeah.
10 years.
I know. It seems like only yesterday. So
yeah, it's like so fast.
I know.
Right, doesn't it?
So as far as talking about remote production, as you say, it's been spoken about for a long time, and there's been various iterations of it for quite some time. What we've been working on is getting it more and more, I guess, close to being the same as local production. And so what we've got here today is our full lineup of products we've been working on really for the last 2 years. There's a huge amount of cameras and converters and things. And in there, we've actually been building what's called our BirdDog Connect platform. Mm-hmm. And it goes way beyond what you'd normally have for remote production of getting a video link from somewhere.
Yep.
And then, if you look at other kind of remote production things, you might be able to get some PTZ control if you've got a basic PTZ that's being connected. Yep. But we actually have all of the metadata and everything gets handed off all directly from the camera. No need to go through any gateways or anything like that. And so that really makes it effectively like you've got that camera right next to you. And we can cut the latency down to effectively near zero. So all of that control that you have and being able to shade cameras remotely, it's really getting to the point of what I think is the dream of remote production, where we can post a camera out to somebody and they can turn it on, point it in the general direction, and then we can go from there and actually have a real high quality production.
So that's something that's kind of become, some of the tools and the functionality of the technology itself is progressing to the point with, be it whether you're on premise or off-prem, and being able to provide that connectivity. And that's something you guys have been paying particular attention to in making some recent analysis, and especially here at the show, talking about that.
Yeah, so I think making it easier and more accessible is something that's really important because, as we said, remote production's been around. It's certainly at the high end for quite some time. But as you start to try and scale it out to more clients and more people, having technology that is more accessible, and by that I mean easier to configure, less heavyweight on networking. So rather than having to do all sorts of port forwarding and network address translations and stuff like that, we can do it with a general internet connection, and it kind of makes remote production really behave more like a video conference call, but with all of the control and everything that you'd have that you need to actually run a full production. And so with us, what we really want to do is make sure that all of our user interfaces and everything all work the same. And then really the big thing is that you don't need to have gateway machines, you don't need to have a lot of processors, GPUs and that kind of stuff to go from the remote location across to where you're doing that production, be that in another location or even in cloud as well.
So now, at the show, do you want to maybe take the audience through a little bit about what you're doing and showcasing here at NAB?
Yeah, sure. So we've actually got probably one of the biggest announcements is the entire product lineup that we've now got. But actually all of these have been turned on with our BirdDog Connect built into the actual cameras and converters themselves. And so that's a really major step. So we're pretty well known for NDI being in our products. That's where we started out. We actually have for a long time supported many other formats as well. So SRT is something we've been really very familiar with. And then actually moving forward from there, we've got things like WebRTC and other formats that we've added in. We've also announced today that we're supporting Dante AV on all of our cameras. So IP video is kind of in our DNA. But really this is all about joining everything up together. So we have, I keep mentioning this BirdDog Connect, that's our platform. So on the camera side of things, we have that built in, but then we also have the production side of things as well. So it's actually got a video switcher built into it. It's got remote multi-views. It's got all of the tools that you would need to get that video into the format that you would need into the place you'd want. And then we also have routing at the other end as well. So we can not only get a camera from one location to another, but we can actually route it to a physical screen at the other end as well. So
when that's it. Interesting point, because I think you're bringing up an interesting point about how you guys are kind of like traversing, not just in terms of SRT or NDI, but also bringing the Dante into the picture, which I think, in general, for those of us that are on the technical side of the operations and running these productions and looking at different opportunities to kind of integrate, that really becomes an advantage, right? Because you're kind of offering additional capabilities, right?
Yeah, so you don't have to box yourself into a certain format. And
Yeah.
I think there's actually really good use cases for all of these different
Sure.
formats, be it Dante AV, be it
Yep.
NDI, even be it baseband SDI as well. There's
Yep.
use cases for everything. But the Dante side of things, to me, is really particularly exciting in larger scale environments where people are already used to having Dante running around for their audio networking.
Right.
They've got a great deal of network connectivity already built in for that.
Right.
And so having that sort of as a sidecar with the video as well makes a really great kind of join up together. And again, we support Dante AVH inside the Connect platform as well.
So now, here at NAB, 10 years, celebrating that.
That's it, yep.
Talking about the connectivity and the integration with the cameras, and we've talked about some of the remote production, reducing complexity, Dante. Is there anything in terms of what you're trying to hear with the show that when people stop by that you want to encourage them to look at?
Yeah, so I think there's obviously the cameras.
Right. Yeah, obviously. Right. That's
we've
the
got plenty
important
of
one.
ways, and there's some it's the first time we've shown some of our higher end cameras here. So we've got an outdoor all-weather camera, which is great for everything from sports production
Sure.
to weather production and all sorts of things. And our 4/3 inch the XL camera, which is a fantastic camera. But I think probably the one that really gets people excited is our Zoom integration as well. And we've taken a really interesting sort of path with that. Zoom's been really very, I guess, active in trying to get more broadcast-like productions into video conferencing. So with the Zoom broadcast team, they've got a bunch of different ways that you can work. And the latest iteration of that is the enhanced video platform. And that allows us to do 60 frames a second into a Zoom call. So with our Connect platform, earlier I mentioned we've got video switching and overlays and transitions. So we can do that directly in Zoom. And you can control those switching and all of that within the Zoom call. You don't need to have a vision switcher at all. So it's much more accessible for people to do a broadcast-like production without having to have all those really high-end tools as well.
Which is fantastic in the sense because you think about the edge, like field offices, different locations, and corporate environments, as well as, and especially where we have a hybrid type approach to production now, obviously. And so that's fantastic. Is there a particular camera here that you guys are talking about that you're showcasing? Or?
So for us, probably on the camera side of things, it would be the XL and the 04 are our latest cameras.
Okay.
They're the first time we've shown them at a large show in the US. Then on the converters, we've got a brand new product called Play Pro. And that's a little converter box that decodes NDI and other formats as well, and puts it back out into HDMI. But it can also work as a KVM, so you can plug your keyboard and mouse and remotely control from another location a computer as a KVM control as well.
That's which is useful for campus locations and doing that. So basically we can kind of you send those feeds and signal transmissions throughout like an on-campus type setup.
Absolutely, and if you had something like a vision switcher that was running on a computer like a TriCaster or a vMix or something like that, you could actually control that over that remote connection as well.
Nice.
So it's
very nice.
Yeah, and then we've got our keyboard controller as well, which is a really integral part of our solution, which again can be run completely remotely. So all of that camera control and everything can be run directly on that hardware as well. So
I think I'm going to encourage everybody to kind of stop by the BirdDog booth because you've got quite a few things here that are actually pretty exciting. So thank you.
Thank you very much.